Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
I think we have the college basketball title futures. UConn's number one.
I really like Houston. I'd have them winning it all, but you can't be giving Drake jerseys. What is wrong with you?
Maybe the Drake curse is stronger in college basketball.
How long has he been riding with Kentucky?
He wore an Alabama jersey and Saban retired.
The Odds Couple with Rob Fisher, Lang Whitaker, John Roser, and CJ Hurt live Thursdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right. I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bit of Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you caught Draymond Green's podcast last night because he dropped an interesting little tidbit while discussing Klay Thompson's exit from Golden State's franchise. He said it right on camera. He said he almost did the same thing last year. And guess where he said he almost went? Guess where he said he was gonna move to?
Where?
He said Memphis, Tennessee.
Get out of here.
He said he called Steph and Klay and Steve and said, I'm going to the Grizzlies.
I don't believe it.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's what he said. You can take him at his word or not. I do. I take him at his word.
Okay.
We almost had Draymond Green. That'd have been something, wouldn't it?
That would have been something.
That'd have been something.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. Oh, we're busy today.
Yes, we are.
In about 10 minutes, Mike Wallace is going to join me. He, of course, is a senior editor, Grind City Media. He joins me on Wednesdays. I'm going to get to him a little earlier than normal today, and the reason why is because at 10:30, guess who's coming in studio?
Who's coming in?
Top 10 pick, Zach Edey. Two-time National Player of the Year, Zach Edey. Future starting center of your Memphis Grizzlies, Zach Edey. He's going to be in studio about 10:30.
Let's go.
Bennett's already concerned whether he's going to fit in this little studio.
This is a small studio.
I know. It was designed this way, with a purpose. You know, I had some input on all this stuff.
Yeah.
And they asked me, they said, what do you, and I was like, I don't need much space.
Right.
Like, I don't need much space.
Didn't this used to be a closet?
I don't really envision it being too many, like, it's me and Bennett and then like a guest every once in a while. But for the most part, I don't think we need any space, really. This is well before I realized they were going to draft a 7'4" center.
I know. They should have told us what was in the plans.
They should have been like, all right, GP, I know you say you don't need so much space, but what if we draft Zach Edey? I'd have said, okay, well, now we're talking. Now we'll do our best. Zach Edey's going to be here at 10:30. When I finish talking to Zach, I'll take a break, come back, do 5 things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, the Las Vegas Aces beat the Indiana Fever by 19 points last night historic event in the desert. Largest regular season crowd for a WNBA game since 1999. Oh, All-Stars announced last night as well. Interesting concept. I think it's brilliant.
Okay.
I'm going to tip my hat to the WNBA. We'll talk about it in about, 50 minutes or so. Clarion Ledger tried to kill Archie Manning on X last night. What did they do that for?
What the hell was that?
Why would they do that? And it's still up. As of like an hour ago, it was still up. I'll show you the stupid tweet. We'll do that a little later on in the show. You'll never guess what the fastest growing search term on adult websites has been over the past couple of weeks.
I bet I can guess.
Oh, I bet you can guess. People are searching for it.
Yeah.
People want it,
It's popular,
apparently.
man. It's popular.
People have been looking for that, I gather. Woo! Hawk Tua girl, Haley Welch, she has granted her first interview. I'm sure you saw it.
I did see her.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got some thoughts on
I was curious.
Me too. I got some thoughts on the whole situation. Y'all wild out there in your searches.
Apparently.
Y'all getting wild in your searches. We'll talk about it in the third segment. Elly De La Cruz, Cincinnati's 22-year-old superstar. He played his first game at Yankee Stadium last night. He tripled. He homered. Reds won 5-4. I'll show you his two-run shot. We'll talk about Elly De La Cruz. We'll do that in just a bit. And Howard Eskin, he's a sports media giant in Philadelphia, right? Mm-hmm. He's now been banned from Phillies games for a year because he's allegedly a super creep.
Oh, he's been Googling like everybody else.
Oh, even worse.
Okay.
Oh, even worse. Uh-oh. I'll tell you what I read about this fella. We'll do that during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's Carry Out and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I wanted to start in a place that I had no idea we'd be starting this time yesterday. And that's because this time yesterday, I had no idea that I'd be talking about Draymond Green talking about how he once told Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson that he was leaving Golden State because he was about to sign with the Grizzlies. But that's what happened last night. Draymond Green jumped on his podcast to discuss Klay Thompson's departure from Golden State. And he tells a story about going through a similar thing in free agency last year where he actually picked up the phone and told his coach and teammates, goodbye, I'm moving to Memphis. Watch this. Listen to Draymond Green. I thought we were going to play Draymond Green.
Yeah, there you go.
He called me on the phone. She's like, stop. And she's like, I'm about to cry. And she said it reminded her of last year. So last year during free agency, I called Klay and I called Steph, separate calls, and Steve, and I was just telling them, like, yo, I'm leaving. I'm going to Memphis. And I remember that call with them. So I was going to leave. And she said, we were in Paris. And she's like, it's reminding me of when we were in Paris and you was calling them. Like, she was just sitting there crying. And obviously we got it figured out. Shout out to the Lakers and Mike Dunleavy, his first free agency. We got it done. But yeah, I think that.
So that's interesting because when you think of the Dynasty Warriors, there's probably at least 4 people that are going to be connected to it forever, maybe 5. But it's Steve Kerr, the coach. It's Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and then maybe Bob Myers if you want to throw him in there.
Okay.
The Lakers, I guess, but you get the point. If we ever do the movie, the FX series, we're going to have to cast those characters. And we now know that at least 2 of the 3 main players of this dynasty have either left disgruntled or been on the verge of leaving while disgruntled. Because Klay Thompson left, and Draymond Green just told the world last night that he was on the verge of doing it. And it's interesting because Anthony Slater's piece in The Athletic yesterday morning detailed how the Lakers had really taken negotiations pretty deep into the calendar with Draymond Green, did the same thing to a different degree with Steph Curry. They seem to interpret time as leverage on their side. Like the longer we make somebody wait, the better off it'll be for us in the end. And perhaps that is an incredible negotiating tactic, in normal business settings. But I'm not sure that it makes a lot of sense when you're dealing with, franchises, dynasties, humans with egos. because Klay Thompson got so irritated that even if you wanted to bring him back, it sounded like at the end you didn't really have an opportunity to. He was, at least in his head, out the door. And Draymond Green was telling his teammates and his wife that he was leaving Golden State, that this wasn't going to get done. Now, as he acknowledged, at the end, they came through and they got the deal done. They put the $100 million on the table, 4 years, $100 million. But ultimately, they pushed Klay that direction too, and then either didn't want to reel him back in, which I think is probably closer to the truth than not, or even if they wanted to, at some discounted price, weren't going to be able to rope him back in. But that does illustrate how this stuff happens. Draymond Green is happy right now in Golden State. He's appreciative of the ownership group. He's appreciative of his general manager, of his coach, of his teammates, of everybody who allowed him to stay there. But by his own admission, there was a moment last June, roughly a year ago, when he was like, I'm done. We're leaving. This is over. I'm going where I'm wanted. Because presumably, and don't look at the calendar and then compare it with the CBA rules. Don't do that.
Okay.
All right? Because just don't do that.
Yep.
But he had apparently, I'm just connecting some dots here, but he had apparently reached a point where he believed he was truly wanted in Memphis at that time. Now, how would he know that? Again, I don't know. That's none of my business.
Yeah, because if you're Draymond Green, you can't assume that you're wanted in Memphis, right?
I feel like somebody has to let you know that.
I feel like somebody has to let you know that you're wanted in Memphis.
Now, I don't want you looking at the rules and trying to figure out what's allowed and what's not allowed.
I got it.
All right? I don't need you doing that. All right? But one way or another, and it's probably by like one way or another, however it happens, one way or another, he reached a point where Memphis wants me. And you guys don't seem like you do. And that breaks my heart. So I'm gone. I'm going to be grit and grind. Draymond Green could have been right inside FedEx Forum.
I have always stood on, I would be a supporter of Draymond Green in a Grizzlies jersey.
Everybody would have supported him, but it would have been frustrating. You realize he's frustrating in Golden State. Like, they're frustrated with him, too.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I'm glad this didn't happen, just for the record. I'm glad this didn't happen. But it is...
Well, because of last season. I mean, imagine,
It would have just been... more logs
Draymond
on the fire.
And Gigi, yeah.
Well, he'd have been suspended too. He'd have been among.
That's right. He would have been suspended.
I mean, it would have just been, another log on the fire of a season of disasters, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad this didn't happen, but it is interesting that Draymond felt compelled to tell the story that it almost did, and the reason is because he reached a point where his feelings were hurt too. He didn't use those words exactly, but that's what that means. He reached a point where his feelings were hurt too. Why the Lakers always hurting each other, hurting people's feelings?
It does appear they hurting people's feelings.
And now you've got like Golden State Warriors diehards just absolutely blasting the ownership group.
Yeah.
And I'll never understand this. And maybe if I were smart enough to be a billionaire, then I'd, have a different level of intelligence and then everything would make sense to me. But I can't imagine working your whole life or not working your whole life, however that works. But at some point, you got so much money that you can buy a professional sports franchise that people care about deeply. All right? And then you run it in a way that makes people hate you. Like, imagine spending several $1 billion to create a situation where an entire city hates you.
Right.
Or entire region hates you. Like, what? That's a bad way to spend your money. Like, you realize you could take $3 billion, donate it to St. Jude, and the whole world would love you, right? Instead, you buy a basketball franchise, run it incorrectly, and the whole world hates you. I just donated to St. Jude, or I'd run my basketball franchise the right way, right? It's just, there's a long list of people who get into sports ownership, and they end up spending all their money to make people hate them. Huh? The Mets' previous ownership group, the people who own Oakland, the situation in Baltimore for years. I don't understand why people spend billions of dollars to be hated. You could just have your billions of dollars and be mostly anonymous and, donate to charity and stuff. But the Lakers seem to be the latest family that is doing that. Draymond Green nearly walked out the door on him. Klay Thompson did as well. And though the Klay Thompson decision at the end of the day might have been the smart decision, it might actually be the smart basketball thing to do. It does appear that the final years of Steph Curry's great years, that they're not going to be actually contending for a championship. And that is a byproduct of some missteps in free agency, in drafting, and maybe in just basic human-to-human relationships. That's what Draymond Green said last night. Klay Thompson hasn't said much, but I bet if he ever talks about it, he'll have a lot of compelling stuff to say. Mike Wallace in studio next.
If you look at it as far as the number 9 pick over the years, there's been some pretty good players that have surfaced at number 9. Of course, Dirk Nowitzki, who won a championship. There's been a lot of great guys, but who knows if there is a great guy in this draft.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Heart Royal Flush Tour 2024. November 14th, FedEx Forum. A journey through the hits and timeless classics. The iconic band returns with special guests. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Tickets on sale now at heart-music.com. Heart with Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Produced by AEG Presents.
Now for a limited time, the new $1.99 crispy tender wraps are here at Sonic. Who could deny a crispy chicken tender with bold flavors like hickory barbecue and cheesy Baja? And we can't forget the crisp lettuce and melty cheese to make the perfect bite. Wrap yourself up with some TLC, tender, love, and chicken for only $1.99. Sonic $1.99 crispy tender wraps. Tax not included, limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
Look at the score. Look at the score he just did.
Hey, but look at the bench, though.
Look at number 3.
Right before I walked in the locker room, Danny Ainge pulled me to the side and said, hey, Tony Allen, come here. Let me give you a little basketball etiquette. When you're down 40, do not do an in-game windmill. It's just disgusting for the game.
The Chris Vernon Show, presented by Caesars Sportsbook, live weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. We have another edition. This will be the 3rd edition of the Debate Club. You guys are going to sell a shoe to Mr. Bennett Doyle, our producer over here.
Oh, yeah.
I saw these.
I've seen these.
I saw these on social media too.
It's the perfect house shoe.
I know, right?
Like, yeah, it's not even a house shoe. I bet you they're really comfortable. You know, you heard of unisex. This is unifoot. Oh my God.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. Zach Edey, top 10 pick, Memphis Grizzlies, 2-time National Player of the Year, scheduled to join us in about 12 to 15 minutes or so. Looking forward to that. But right now, as a senior editor, Grind City Media, it's the great Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm trying to stretch this 6'1.5" to 7'4".
I know.
In
the commercial, I asked you. I said, "Do you think he's going to fit over there?" And you were like, "We'll see. We'll see. We'll figure it out. We just might have to sit him right here in the middle.
We're on the table, right?
Yeah, just lay him down on the table. We'll figure it out. Hey, did you see Draymond Green's podcast? Did you realize we were almost co-workers with Draymond Green? I had no idea.
I did, man. And you know, if you follow the scuttlebutt and, you know, kind of the behind-the-scenes stuff, there's always been chatter of interest there between the Grizzlies and Draymond. Whether he will become available or not, you know, it remained to be seen at that time. I'm kind of glad that it worked out this way.
Right.
You know, because I don't think that would have been an ideal fit. I could see why there was attraction, but I'm glad it worked out the way it did. But you also got to take Draymond, what he says, with a grain of salt too.
Right.
Because this was the same guy that, you know, a few months back said the commissioner had to talk me out of retirement.
There you go.
He wasn't walking away from $100 million,
Also said that the NBA is not set up for players to be wealthy after they retire.
Which is,
I mean, when you're signing $200 million contracts, you are set up to be wealthy.
Yeah. And then the other thing, I'm going to double down on that too. The other thing was, remember he said he tried to get the term owner removed from owning a team,
right,
because of the, negative connotations linked to slavery. I'm like, that's a big jump.
Right.
I'm an African American. That's a big jump for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I own my home. I'm fine with that.
I don't know that I'm allowed to step up and be like, what are you talking about? But I'm glad you did.
Nah, you're good. You would have been good. We would have gave you a pass on that one. Man. You're good.
Okay. I appreciate it. It's good to know. But it does, that story, even if it leads to nothing, does illustrate how contentious these negotiations can get. And what Draymond seemed to be saying there is like, I was on the verge of leaving as well. I'm glad I didn't, but he seemed to understand the point Clay got to, because he got to that same point. They just reeled him back in a way that they clearly didn't with Clay.
Yeah, and I knew that contract was going to be problematic, because when Dre got 4 years, $100 million, $25 million per, and they weren't going to get Clay to that number, that was going to be a problem. I did also read, I mean, there's a great piece on ESPN by Ramona Shelburne about how Draymond and Clay were ticked off when they extended Poole and Wiggins to 140 and 106 respectively. And they valued them coming off that championship in 2022 over a long-term commitment to Clay and Draymond. And sometimes when you're in the heat of it, you just won a championship, you got to make those moves. I do think the Poole thing was one that was regrettable, as they proved it was. But I don't think the Wiggins contract was regrettable. It was just one of those situations where they acted in the heat of the moment, and then the GM left, right? You know, he got out of there right after that. Bob Myers left right after that.
And he seems like, I'm going to get out of here before the tough decisions got to get made.
Yeah. And that's unfortunate, because now, you know, like Clay is an emotional guy.
Sure.
Like, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's easily ticked off. He's very sensitive. And this was never going to end the way that it needed to end with him. He's struggling to face his own mortality, right? So that's just a problem right there. I think it's going to work out better for him to move on. And they weren't going to be able to keep all those guys anyway. They did what they did. Their dynasty is intact. And you just take the next chapter from here.
And his feelings are hurt, I think, understandably so. Like, I'm human. I have feelings.
Yeah.
My feelings would be hurt, too, if I were him. I think both these things can be true. I understand why Golden State let him walk.
Yeah, absolutely.
But my feelings would also be hurt if I were Klay Thompson. I don't know whether it takes 5 years, 10, 20, but eventually, this is the one I always go back to. Nolan Richardson got fired at Arkansas, accused them of racism, sued them. His name's now on the court, and he's back there all the time for games, and he gets a standing ovation every time he's there.
Yeah.
Time has a way of making things right, and I believe, and I imagine you would agree, there'll be a sweet moment between Klay Thompson and the Warriors someday. It'll just probably be down the road.
Oh, no question. No question about it. I mean, all of these things happen with these kind of dynasties, right? Like, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen didn't go back to the Bulls ceremony this past year because there's still some lingering feelings between that. But obviously we know what they meant to that organization. James Worthy was ostracized from the Lakers at the end of his term. Now he's back on their broadcast, and he's been there for a long time now. So you can go time and time. Ray Allen, right? Ray Allen, when he left, he literally left Boston to go to Miami, their arch rival at the time during those Heat Big Three era. And he came back, and he was in the suite when they won the championship. Right. So, those things do tend to happen, and it happens time and time again. But right now, the feelings are just raw. Clay took 3 years, $50 million. Right. That's like, I mean, come on, man. Right. Like, Obi Toppin got 4 years and 60.
Right.
So, but again, he is what he is at this point, and we can't forget that Klay Thompson was on the downside of his production. He had a subpar year, and he just wasn't performing at the Klay Thompson level we knew, and this is why he's in the situation.
Would this concern you if you're a Lakers fan? Not that you didn't get Klay Thompson, but that Klay Thompson was raised in L.A. His father was a Laker. His father still works on Lakers games. The Lakers wanted him. LeBron called. LeBron said, I'll take a pay cut if it means we can get you. And he still said, nope, I'll go to Dallas.
No surprise at all. Right. That is Klay.
Right.
That is Klay. Like, I knew he never wanted to play for the Lakers once his dad was there, right? I also knew that he wasn't going to go and feel like he wanted to beat LeBron. He wanted, slit LeBron's throat on the court competitively. He's not going to want to go play with him in that situation. I think Dallas is sort of the happy medium. Because, number one, obviously they're probably going to guarantee him a starting spot. And he sees that team as a little more dangerous than what the Lakers can be, right? Klay doesn't like to bite his tongue. When you're going to the Lakers right now, you got to bite your tongue on a whole lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not him. He's not that kind of dude, man. So I think he ended up in the right spot. It's a dangerous team. It's a good fit. And we'll just see what he can do and if he can stay healthy with him.
I want to talk to you about Zach Edey because I think you were on him before most.
Not think.
I know you were on him before most,
all good.
Not just as an option for the Grizzlies, but as a reasonable and possible option at number 9 for the Grizzlies. Most people, when they talked about Zach Edey, was like, well, I guess if you trade down, why did you believe what actually happened last Wednesday? was on the table more so than most people assumed.
Now, I will say this. Had the Grizzlies not taken Zach at 9, I'm not sure he would have gone in the top 15.
Okay.
Right. I'm not sure. Right. But having said that, when you identify what you need and everything on paper says this guy provides what you need and what you're lacking, you got to go get your guy. In the NFL, this is how the draft works. Like the team behind you, drafting behind you or in front of you, can have a completely different set of needs. They're not going to take the best available player at that time. They're going to take what they need. And the Grizzlies, once they figured out, okay, Clingan is unattainable at this point. We don't value Clingan and Edey as a wide gap between them. Right. They're closer than a lot of people thought the Grizzlies felt, from what I understand. And he's your guy. And I just think certain things translate. His ability to be big in the paint, his ability to rebound, his ability to alter shots and move around the paint. He's not going to be a throw it in to me, let me be Tim Duncan. That's not what you're expecting from him. But you're expecting from him to be big, offensive rebound, put back, set screens, and be smart and be willing to get better every year, to accept the role every year. This guy played 4 years, and each year his role was different, and he accepted what they needed from him. And he adjusted, and he dominated. So all of those things say that he's coachable, that he's determined, that he puts in the work, he's in shape, he's durable, and he can do all the things that you need. Why not go get him?
He said something at his press conference that I think you just touched on a little bit, which is that for years he's just had a chorus of people telling him what he is. And it's interesting. I'm going to talk to him about this when he's in here. It goes all the way back to high school. You're a sub-400 recruit. What that implies is you're not a real high major player. Right. But then he gets a high major offer. And then it's like, okay, but you're not a real high major star. As a sophomore, he played 19 minutes per game. He split time with Trevion Williams. They said, okay, well, that's what you are. Well, then he becomes the National Player of the Year. Loses in the first round of the tournament. They say, okay, fine, but you're not a real NBA player, and you're only good because you're tall. And, oh, by the way, you're not a winner. Well, then he goes to a Final Four, makes the national championship, actually dominates Donovan Clingan in the title game. Okay, fine, you're a 2-time National Player of the Year, but you're not a real NBA player. You're not a top 10 pick. Okay, now I'm a top 10 pick. Now, this guy has, for his entire basketball life, been told this is what you are, and he's like, no, I'm more than this. I'll show you. And he to date, he's never missed.
He's never missed. And the thing is, he's coming into a situation where he does not have to be a franchise savior.
Right.
So that's different. Like, that's a situation where, hey, can I come in and be productive? Can I come in and do what I need to do next to Jaren with Ja? Can I create space and go after set screens and free up Desmond Bane on the perimeter? Can I be that kind of person? Yeah, the answer is yes. Right. Because now he doesn't have to be what he was at Purdue. He could just go back to and people forget, 2 years ago, this guy played with Ivy, right?
Sure, yeah.
And that was probably the most dynamic athletic guard that he's ever played with.
Because the 2 guards he has now, they're both good college guards, but they're good college guards. That's what they are.
That's it. Yeah, completely different dynamic. So the key to me is, will Zach be able to quickly adapt to the speed of the NBA game, going from rim to rim, and just transitioning to make sure that he's in a play and can contribute in a play? Can he get down? Can he get the defensive rebound, outlet, get to the other end, to the free throw line, set that screen, and be in that play so that he can be helpful? He's going to have to be able to do that. Once he adjusts to that physicality and that what it requires to be athletic and moving and that speed, I think he's going to be fine, man.
If you watched him at Purdue go here and here, it was slow. There's no getting around it.
It was methodical,
but they were slow.
And they intentionally.
Yes.
Right.
And so all of the agility tests suggest he can actually move better than he showed. And even Matt Painter, I talked to him last Thursday. He said he's more athletic than you think. And he's more, the things we asked him to do were very specific things for us. He can do more things. It's a little bit like, I don't know, I remember John Calipari being asked about Karl Anthony Towns not shooting a lot of threes at Kentucky. And he's like, well, I hear you, but like nobody could guard him around the rim. So like, why are we, So it's a little bit like we didn't ask him to do that, but he can.
Right.
So, and then he is a big-bodied, bigger-bodied, but big-bodied center like Steven Adams, Jonas Valanciunas. Ja and Jaren have had success, flourished with big traditional centers.
Right.
If I'm a Grizzlies fan, and I am, that should make me feel a little more comfortable about what we're doing here.
No question about it. The prototype fits, and this is getting back to where the Grizzlies were at their strongest. Is Zach going to develop a three-point shot? I don't know. Right? Are they going to ask him to do that? I don't believe so. But they want him to be a weapon.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they're not going to look to him to play 38 minutes a game. He's going to be situational, and he's going to be, because a lot of times when games are on the line in the last 5 minutes, it's probably going to be Jaren at the 5, which is what, Zach Kleiman has always said, and Taylor Jenkins. But taking the first 25 minutes or 28 minutes of a game and allowing him to establish his physicality and be in plays, that's going to be key, man. And I think he's, again, until I see it otherwise, and like you said, you laid out everything from the moment he was a 400 level recruit all the way to this past season. Until I see otherwise, I don't question that. There are a lot of guys that come into the NBA with a lot of questions. We just saw James Wiseman go number 2 overall, and in the last 4 years, he hasn't lived up to any of that. We gave him a tremendous amount of benefit of the doubt for being the number 2 pick in that draft, and he went to 2 different teams in 2 different roles, and he hadn't been able to latch on. That doesn't mean his career is over.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that I see a lot more of a resume that Zach Edey built than what I saw from James Wiseman, as one example.
Well, how about this? Because this is interesting, and it's not something I'd put together yet.
Yeah.
People right now have way more questions about Zach Edey than they had about James Wiseman a week after he was drafted.
That's what I'm saying.
James Wiseman had done nothing relative to what Zach Edey had done. Now, I don't want to be hypocritical. I didn't have many questions about James Wiseman coming out of college either. I thought he was going to be really good. I'm surprised by this. But, it is interesting that a person as accomplished as Zach Edey, who has been proving people wrong since the moment he stepped on a basketball court, is one of the biggest question marks in the draft.
Right. And we kind of make it more complicated than it is. What will have to happen for Zach Edey to be a bust? He's going to be able to rebound.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to set screens. He's going to be able to go either way, over the right shoulder or the left shoulder with hook. He has footwork. Only thing that can stop him is getting hurt and just not being willing to get better in terms of conditioning wise. He hasn't shown that he's incapable of doing either one of those things. Right. So I don't have as many questions. Again, his ceiling isn't just necessarily through the roof, but his floor is such a solid foundation that I'm like, okay, you can live with what he is in that situation. And, like I said, we'll see. But I'm looking forward to seeing how he develops.
Yeah, you can imagine, and I'm sure it's true for you as well. You pop around this weekend after the draft, and, people are, hey, so what do you think? And I said, listen, he's going to be in the NBA for a long time. The idea that he's just going to wash out or be in South Haven, that's not true. This is a real basketball player. He's a 2-time National Player of the Year. He's going to be in the NBA. Can he be a top 10 center in the world? I don't know.
But that's not even the ceiling for me. Can he do what Hartenstein does in a different way? Right. Can he be a Zubac? Right. Can he do that? I'm not even looking for him to be a Jonas Valanciunas, because Jonas needs the basketball as a scorer. But can he be a solid guy that can help, facilitate you? Can he be a better passer to help get guys open? I think he could do all of those things, man. And I just, like I said, from watching him to hearing what Painter said about him to hearing what his competitors have said about him, I don't see where it is. And it's going to be interesting because depending on how these Summer League rosters shake out, Game 1, he could see Kenny Lofton Jr., right? Which is going to be an interesting matchup. But Walker Kessler is also on Salt Lake City's Summer League team. So if they give him some Summer League minutes, then Edey is coming in, assuming he plays Game 1. He's going to go in against 2 guys with completely 2 different styles that are NBA-ready type bodies. And that's going to give him a test from day 1. And then once he gets to Vegas, that skittish nature, it's just going to be a track meet. He's going to have to just be able to get up and down.
And on the offensive end, you'll see this, I think, in Summer League. He's going to be able to score. I mean, he scored on Donovan Clingan.
Of course.
Who was
relentlessly.
Who was in consideration to be the number 1 pick in the draft based off how awesome he is defensively. And Edey cooked him on that end of the court. So he's going to be able to score and do things on the offensive end. To the extent people have questions, it's on the other end. And, we'll see.
With floor spacers, too. Because assuming Scottie Pippen Jr. is out there as the point guard, he's a guy that knows how to play. And then you got G.G. Jackson on the wing, so you're going to have shooters and stuff around him that's going to give him a tremendous amount of space. And then when he needs to dump it into him and let him go to work. I mean, I think it's just – I'm not saying it's a no-brainer because there's so many variables that go into play here, but I don't have the biggest amount of questions that a lot of people have. And maybe it's because I'm a traditionalist, man. I grew up in an era where I appreciated the big man in basketball. And I know what they can do when you give them the ball. I don't expect them to be Tim Duncan, right? But I don't expect them to be anything like a guy that just can't get this done either.
Right. Talking to Mike Wallace here in studio. Elsewhere in the NBA, big headlines coming out of Los Angeles this morning. LeBron, 2-year max extension with a player option, no trade clause, all that stuff. He creates all the leverage. Bronny, 4-year deal worth roughly $8 million. He's going to make $2 million a year. And J.J. Redick's staff starting to get filled out. Reports are Nate McMillan and Scotty Brooks both going to be assistant coaches. So let's start with that part of it.
Yes.
Obviously, J.J. Redick can be as smart as he can be about basketball, managing people, all that stuff. I am a big believer in when you are doing a job, particularly a high-profile public job for the first time, you do need to have people around you who have done it just so you can every once in a while go, hey, you ever been through this?
Yeah.
What do we talk to me? And they're I think smartly surrounding him with those people.
2 high-level coaches.
Right.
Scotty Brooks had Oklahoma City in the NBA Finals, right? Nate McMillan has been around in a lot of different areas, tough-minded, defensive-oriented guy. So he has an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. He's a relationship guy. I think that coaching staff is being built out smartly. LeBron, obviously, this is what he does: leverage. So he's on a year-to-year basis, making the most that he can make technically year to year, and he's going to put all the pressure on the Lakers to continue to do this. The Bronny contract, again, man, it is what it is.
Right.
I don't know if a number 55 pick that will ever get that kind of deal off the bat. It is what it is. Call it what it is. I mean, you can criticize it, you can defend it, but as long as we're being honest about what it is, I'm not crazy about that. I think it's a sense of entitlement that's taking it a little bit too far. But I don't know what the end game is for the Lakers here. Is this going to put them in the Western Conference Finals or the NBA Finals next year for doing all of this? For LeBron, I don't believe so. But if this is how they want to run the organization, hey, all power to them. You made an excellent point too, man, on CBS. I mean, I retweeted that as well. Just how you articulated it, and you said, okay, you can be fine with it, but call it what it is, and it's okay. Right. And especially when you won me over when you talked about the Antetokounmpos, right? And how every year that Giannis is on this Bucks roster, he's going to have Thanasis on that roster too, whether he deserves it or not. So it happens at every single level.
And just like Bill Self's son is running a G League franchise, Billy Donovan's son is running the Bulls or coaching the Bulls G League franchise.
Team.
Like this stuff happens in basketball. There's nothing. This is high profile. More high profile than most, but it's not unique.
Yeah, right.
Mike Wallace, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, man.
As senior editor, Grind City Media, he's on X at my Mike Check. When we come back, we can get Mike Wallace out of this chair, see if we can get Zach Edey in it. Wish us luck. The Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
The Indiana Fever have to do something. You cannot let her get hit like this.
No.
Because it's not just you're allowing people to think this is okay. It's you're allowing her to think that you don't have her back.
Yes.
Like whatever you think of her on a personal level, she is wherever you're going. If you're a member of that franchise, wherever you're going, it's where she's taking you.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. We have another edition. This will be the third edition of the Debate Club. You guys are going to sell a shoe to Mr. Bennett Doyle, our producer over here.
Oh, yeah.
I saw these.
I've seen these.
I saw these on social media too.
It's the perfect house shoe.
I know, right?
Like, yeah, it's not even a house shoe. I bet you they're really comfortable. You heard of unisex. This is unifoot. Oh, my God.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Impact Royal Flush Tour 2024. November 14th, FedEx Forum. A journey through the hits and timeless classics. The iconic band returns with special guests. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Tickets on sale now at heart-music.com. Heart with Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Produced by AEG Presents.
Now for a limited time, the new $1.99 crispy tender wraps are here at Sonic. Who could deny a crispy chicken tender with bold flavors like hickory barbecue and cheesy Baja? And we can't forget the crisp lettuce and melty cheese to make the perfect bite. Wrap yourself up with some TLC, tender, love, and chicken for only $1.99. Sonic $1.99 crispy tender wraps. Tax not included, limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
What is going on? What is it? Which one? What color was it?
With speckles.
Yeah, that's vomit. That's vomit. Yeah, that is the worst one. The vomit is the worst one. I'd like to remind everybody that this is her idea. She wanted to do this.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I think we have the college basketball title futures. UConn's #1.
I really like Houston. I'd have them winning it all, but you can't be giving Drake jerseys. What is wrong with you?
Maybe the Drake curse is stronger in college basketball.
How long has he been riding with Kentucky?
He wore an Alabama jersey and Saban retired.
The Odds Couple with Rob Fisher, Lang Whitaker, John Roser, and CJ Hurt live Thursdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Mike did his favorite black films of all time. Mike, where we at?
If there's one movie I know every single line to, it is Coming to America.
There we go.
It is Coming to America. It can come on any time of any day, and I'm going to stop and watch at least 20 minutes of it.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Bill Ford Tough Studio, and a real treat now. Two-time National Player of the Year, Purdue legend, and the 9th pick of the 2024 NBA Draft. It's Zach Edey in studio. Zach Edey, Gary Parrish, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to Memphis. We're under a heat advisory, I think, right now. Are you enjoying our humidity so far?
As much as I can. It's definitely – you got to get used to it. It's hot.
But we were talking in the break. You've already, or at least in the process of making yourself at home. You're finding a place to live. You told me you're walking up and down downtown. You're sort of getting used to Memphis so far, huh?
Yeah. Trying to get accustomed. I'm planning to be here for a while, so just trying to get used to the city and how everything works.
And it's funny because, we have draft picks every year. I bet Jalen Wells can probably walk around and not every single person is going to know exactly who that is. But you're a 7'4", two-time National Player of the Year who has been a prominent sports figure in this country for multiple years now. I imagine when you're walking around, whether it's South Main or West Lafayette or anywhere at this point, you're constantly getting pictures, selfies, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It was all like in good fun though. People smiling, like just happy to see me. It was cool, like just the love that the city showed me. Like when I was out for like 10 minutes walking up and down the street. People were like stopping their cars in the middle of the street, like, oh, can I get a picture? Like getting out, like doing U-turns on the road, putting their car in park. Like just people enthusiastic and happy for me to be here.
Well, people are enthusiastic and happy for you to be here. And I watched your press conference. I was coming home from the draft on Friday, but I watched your press conference on Friday. And one of the things you said was, I've spent a while now with people telling me what they think I am. And there was this moment after you guys secured your first trip to the Final Four since 1980, where you were on CBS and, you said, I'm a winner. And I remember talking about it at the time. It felt like this. I know you all year long said there was no pressure. to get to a national championship game, to get to a Final Four. But it seemed like that relieved some pressure. Like nobody could ever tell you anymore you couldn't do this. And I guess the point I'm making is you haven't been playing basketball for very long. But from the moment you started playing, people have been telling you this is what you are. You're a sub 400 recruit in your high school class. That means you're not a high major player. But then you get an offer from Purdue, you go to Purdue, that's fine. But you're a role player. 19 minutes a game as a sophomore, you're splitting time with Trevion Williams. Then you're the National Player of the Year. Okay, that's fine, but you lost in the first round. You're not a real winner. Okay, well, I'm going to win back-to-back Big Ten titles, go to a Final Four, go to a title game, win another National Player of the Year award. Okay, fine. Great. You're a good college player. You're not a top 10 pick. Well, now you're a top 10 pick. It struck me as I was just sort of thinking through this, you have proven everybody wrong every single time, every step of the way. Does it get frustrating that people are still skeptical that you can do this?
I kind of just expect it now. I think I would be uncomfortable if people weren't doubting me all the time. It's just kind of been part of it, been part of my life. In college, I couldn't tell you why people keep doing it, but they keep doing it, and it keeps working out for me.
Yeah, like I, throughout the year, had to keep defending you because, I would fight back against this. Yeah, he's good because he's tall. I'm like, well, Taco Fall was tall. He wasn't a two-time National Player of the Year. Or, well, they fall apart in the big stage. Well, like a lot of people have, lost games they weren't supposed to lose. They've been one of the best teams in college basketball. I got tired of having to defend you and Purdue, so I can't imagine what it's like you having to deal with it. And yet, here you are again with people questioning what you're going to be on the defensive end of the court. Can you guard in space? How do you address those concerns when, say, even NBA franchises through the pre-draft process would bring them up to you?
I think there's a lot of people in this class with weaknesses. Like everybody has weaknesses. It just seems like all everybody wants to talk about is my weaknesses. No one ever talks about what I can do. And that's just kind of part of it. Like you said, like people just doubting me, trying to discount me and what I've done. But it's just part of it. Just got to kind of keep rolling with it and not let it bother you. Like I think that's the one thing about me that it really helped me, honestly. Like people always trying to talk down on me. Like I just kind of learned to just ignore it, just not let it affect me. Like sometimes let it motivate me when before a game or something when you need that little extra fuel, but not let it control me and still stay true to myself and stay true to who I am.
It's one thing when your own coach says, listen, I recruited this young man. I've been around him. I'm telling you, he's more athletic than you think. He can move better than you think. He can shoot it better than you think. And all the stuff you've seen, that's all there too. It's another thing when other people say it. And I don't know if you ever saw this, but I believe it was Dan Hurley was talking to J.J. Redick about you. And he said, and then I had Dan on last week on Friday because of Cam Spencer. And Dan told me, he said, listen, all the analytics tell you there's three things on the offensive end of the court that you should be trying to do. And that's get points at the rim, get to the free throw line, or shoot threes. And this is Dan Hurley talking. He said Zach Edey is elite at two of those three things. So, if you can't figure out how to use him, I don't think you're being creative enough. What does it mean to you when you hear other people emphasize your strengths as opposed to focus on what they perceive you can't do?
I mean, it's almost a weird change up. I'm not used to people kind of giving me praise. It's cool, early. Obviously, the way the game went, it's hard for me to kind of give him any compliments.
Right.
But he's a good coach. He knows what he's talking about, and to have someone kind of stick up for me like that when there's no need to, it's cool.
Speaking of your strengths, and this is something I talked about throughout the pre-draft process, is that a guy you're going to be connected to forever is the guy you were in the same draft class with, played the same position. He was in the championship game with you, Donovan Clingan. He was in consideration, reportedly, to maybe be the number one pick in the draft, primarily because of his strengths on the defensive end. Well, you had a big offensive game against him. How much, if at all, do you think that performance helped you become a top 10 pick, that NBA front offices were able to watch you play against a guy everybody thinks is going to be a franchise defensive center, and you, for lack of a better verb, cooked him pretty good on that end of the court?
I don't know. You probably have to ask Coach Jenkins and them. My draft stock was never something I was worried about. I was worried about winning games. I was worried about trying to make it to the next round, trying to make it to the championship, trying to win a Big Ten title. That's what I was worried about. I was just trying to play games and help Purdue win as much as possible. That's all I had. That's what my mentality was going to that game.
When did you know all of this was possible for you? You start playing basketball. Let's just start with the fact that you are taller than most. So there's that. as a building block, but then you become skilled, you become great. When did you know, oh, wow, I might not just be a college basketball player, I can beat the best?
I mean, it's a process. It's been a whirlwind. I don't know if there's ever like a particular moment. I just kind of keep going, keep working, and just see where my work takes me. Like I'm not ever. I don't think it's. No one can ever look at you in the eyes and tell you that they knew this was going to happen. Like no one knows what's going to happen in the future. But for me, the only thing I was worried on is just working hard and trying to improve and better myself to be the best basketball player I can. And this is how it ended up so far.
So when you get selected, John Morant jumps on social media, other players jump on social media. How much communication, if at all, have you had with them subsequently? Like, does a group text get started? How does that work?
Yeah, they've been texting me. They've been really good to me, just like trying to make me feel comfortable, make me feel welcome. They've done a good job just helping me.
Do you expect to be the starting center on opening night?
Ask Coach Jenkins again. I don't make the lineups.
Right. But you would certainly, like, I imagine on some level it's a goal.
For sure.
Right.
For sure.
Right. So what's obviously Summer League coming up? You made a decision to withdraw from consideration for Team Canada at the Paris Olympics. How stressful of a decision was that for you? That's obviously a big decision. I imagine some people back home slightly disappointed. How complicated was that? Yeah,
it was tough. I've always taken pride in being able to represent my country, and I've done it every year. After my sophomore year, I did it. After my junior year, I did it. After my freshman year, I did it. I've done Team Canada for a while, and to have this be the year that I miss out on it is kind of tough. Obviously, that team's still elite. They still got amazing talent. They still should do great things in that tournament, but it's gonna be tough, watching them and not being able to be there. But it was a decision I felt like I had to make, just for myself, being able to look out for myself, being able to put myself in the best position on opening night to try to help the Grizzlies and take that super serious. It was a decision I felt I had to make, but it was tough.
Just a couple more things for you. What do you hope to accomplish in Summer League?
Just get comfortable. Right. Just understand how everything works. Get comfortable with the guys, how everybody plays, build relationships with people, and then win games.
Last thing before I let you go, and the chat would be upset with me if I didn't bring this up, but given that you are from Toronto, you are from Canada, how you handling this whole Drake situation?
I mean, I gotta stick up for Drake. He's from Canada.
My condolences.
No, let's go. Respect. I respect it.
You're handling it okay. How the narrative throughout the country or the world is that Kendrick killed Drake. You object to that?
I don't pay too much attention to it, to be honest.
You're not in it?
I don't pay too much attention.
Okay. All right. Back home, it was getting wild.
Yeah, I mean,
you're staying above the fray.
I got to stick with Drake the whole time, but I haven't been too tuned into it.
All right. Well, I'm totally consumed with it. So you're probably spending your time. That's maybe why you're a top 10 pick and I'm not, because he's spending his time more efficiently than following rap beefs. I congratulate you on that. It's awesome to have you in studio. It's awesome to have you in the city. People are excited for you, and we can't wait to watch you play.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being here. That's Zach Edey, top 10 pick, Memphis Grizzlies, two-time National Player of the Year from Purdue. When we come back, we'll turn our attention to the WNBA. Aces and Fever played last night. Record crowd out in Las Vegas. Biggest crowd in the WNBA since 1999, and they announced the All-Star circumstances last night as well. Brilliant concept. I'll walk you through it next. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South.
Shall we talk about our favorite NBA Finals MVPs? Number 3 is a little bit of Canadian history because it's the first and only NBA championship that the country as a whole has. I'm going to go with Kawhi Leonard's second Finals MVP. I still get my little heart warm even thinking about it, and I was there watching every game. IMHO with Lang Whitaker and me, Kelsey Wright Johnson, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
If you look at it, as far as the the number 9 pick over the years. There's been some pretty good players that have surfaced at number 9. Of course, Dirk Nowitzki, who won a championship. There's been a lot of great guys, but who knows if there is a great guy in this draft.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What is going on? What is it? Which one? What color was it? Yeah, that's vomit. That's vomit. Yeah, that is the worst one. The vomit is the worst one. I'd like to remind everybody that this is her idea. She wanted to do this.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Hey Grizzlies fans, turn your stadium excitement into betting action at Southland Casino Hotel. As a proud sponsor of the Memphis Grizzlies, Southland brings you more gaming action than ever before. Step onto our massive casino floor stretching more than 2.5 football fields. Slot enthusiasts can enjoy more than 2,300 machines from penny slots to high limits and play the hottest games like Aristocrat, Dollar Storm, Cloverlink, and Lightning Cash. Table game aficionados can feel the thrill of the felt with 50 live table games. From 3-card to blackjack match, we're ready to deal you in. Plus, don't miss stadium gaming for an interactive digital experience. And for high rollers, our high limit room is calling your name. Go big on 6 high limit blackjack tables or spin one of our 54 high stakes slot machines. Throw in 8 delicious dining options and a 300-room high-rise hotel, and there's plenty to keep you going. At Southland Casino Hotel, the gaming excitement never stops.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
LifeCare Ambulance is proud to be an official partner of the Memphis Grizzlies and FedEx Forum. At LifeCare, they wear their hearts with pride. Their passion is their people. They want you to love what you do and where you do it. Their employee-driven culture encourages a healthy work-life balance and supportive work environment. They invest in your success and well-being so that you can provide the best care for the patients that they serve. Join the incredible team of EMTs and paramedics in Memphis, Nashville, and across the nation today. Learn more at lifecareamb.com.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either, and that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's OrthoSouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Historic night in the desert last night. Las Vegas Aces, Indiana Fever. I know you took the Fever plus 13.5. I know the chat told you not to do that. You didn't listen. 88-69 final score. The Aces were awesome. Caitlin Clark, 4-12 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. Hey, if we're going to pump her up when she shoots it well, we got to highlight that. We got to be fair.
I don't have the Fever anymore.
You lost it?
No, because this is like 3 times now that I gotta stop.
The Aces won by 19, and Caitlin Clark was
not good.
Negative 19.
Yeah, man.
She was minus 19.
It's tough.
Yeah, Asia Wilson.
Rookie ups and downs.
It's rookies ups and downs, Bennett.
Yeah.
This is what happens. There's rookies ups and downs.
That's
Asia
right.
Wilson, she's not a rookie. She does not have nearly the ups and downs. She took 22 shots, made 13 of them, 28 points, 9 rebounds, 2 steals, and 5 blocks. This is precisely the type of thing that Caitlin Clark can do for Asia Wilson, the Aces, and everybody else. Like, the Aces are the 2-time reigning world champions, and they got the best player in the world. Like, the Aces, are you ready for this? They are the Warriors in the middle of the Warriors' heyday, right? The Warriors are the best team in the world, and they're champions, and they've got one of, if not the best player in the world in Steph Curry in his prime. That's what the Warriors were once upon a time, and they were the biggest show in the NBA, right? People come stay at the Westin, and people be waiting outside the Westin just wanting to look at them, right?
Yep.
That's who they were. That's who the Las Vegas Aces are right now. They're the dynasty. Yep. They got the best player in the world. And still, when Caitlin Clark came to town, they had to move their game. from a 12,000 seat arena to an 18,000 seat arena. She sold it out and created what was the biggest crowd for a WNBA regular season game since 1999. I told you yesterday, ticket demand was more than twice as much for last night's regular season game in July against Caitlin Clark than games 1 and 2 of the WNBA finals last year when they were going on to win a second straight WNBA title. So this thing is, it is what it is. You can be bothered by the idea that a rookie from Iowa is a bigger draw than literally anything in women's basketball right now, including the reigning champs and the best player in the world. But it's just true that she is. And last night was a reminder of it. It was a real scene in Las Vegas. Like there were people tweeting, pictures of the entire arena. And it's like,
no, it was like the biggest thing in sports last night, at least on my timeline. I mean, other than like free agency stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as actual games.
Yeah. I mean, I had on baseball and I had on cable news. You just
God.
Well, you got to know.
Do that to yourself.
Well, no, well, I'm waiting for the breaking news.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
There got to be breaking news any day.
Yeah.
So got that on, but absolutely 8:30 I think was around the tip off. I turned it. That's how you know it was a big deal. I turned it on the big screen, Bennett. I had volume on it. I was not only watching the Aces and the Fever, I was listening to the Aces and the Fever, and people were tweeting pictures. Look at that, 20,366. And people were like, yo, this is a Tuesday night in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff to do.
It is very difficult to get people to go to sporting events in Las Vegas just because there's so much other stuff to do. Like I go to these college basketball tournaments and events out there all the time. They're almost always empty. I went to one a couple years ago at Michelob Ultra Arena where the Aces play. And Creighton was involved in it. And so I was out there for that, and it was empty. The whole building was just empty. It's just hard. It's like, hey, you want to go watch a basketball game, or go to the best restaurant in the world, go to the best show in the world, go to the best club in the world, go shopping in the best places in the world, go to the best pools in the world, whatever you want to do, or you want to go watch a basketball game. It's hard. 20,366. She did that. And last night, in the build-up to this game, because they had a build-up to the game, the whole deal, they announced the WNBA All-Star Game circumstances. Did you see the way they're going to do the All-Star Game?
No.
This is brilliant.
What's going on?
Like I've been critical of the way some of these things connected to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and everything else have been handled. This is brilliant. The WNBA All-Star Game will be this. The United States Women's National Team.
Okay.
Against the WNBA All-Stars.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Led by Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
That's pretty good.
It's awesome.
I like that.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Because what was the argument people like me were making in favor of Caitlin Clark being on the Olympic team? You're going to win the Olympics no matter what. All right? So stop it with, well, she's not one of the 12 best. Because, Taurasi's probably not one of the 12 best at this point either. And on the men's side, why you take Anthony Davis straight out of Kentucky and put him with USA Basketball? It's not because he's one of the 12 best right now. It's because he's going to be soon. He's going to be the face of this thing or one of the faces of this thing soon. So let's go ahead and get him in it. Let's get him around these people. Let's get him to know what it looks like, know what it feels like. So the time when we do need him to be important, it ain't the first time he's going through it. That was the argument for Anthony Davis. Same argument for Caitlin Clark. Plus, she can bring you eyeballs that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get, right? A'ja Wilson is awesome. The Las Vegas Aces are incredible. 20,000 people ain't watching them last night if it ain't for Caitlin Clark's presence. I'm not turning that on last night if it's not for Caitlin Clark's presence. So use her. I mean this sincerely. Use her. Don't prop her up. Use her for you. Take advantage of her for you. So how do you make the WNBA All-Star Game bigger than it otherwise would be, bigger than it's ever been? How do we get her involved? Okay, what's been the big thing that everybody couldn't stop talking about? Why isn't Caitlin Clark on the Olympic team? Argue. Okay, let's put her against the Olympic team. All right?
That's fine.
And let's make her and Angel Reese teammates.
I'm in.
Angel Reese is going to set a ball screen for her. All right? And then Caitlin Clark's going to then probably dump off a little pass, and Angel Reese is going to lay it up, and they're going to, fist bump or something. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are going to be teammates. These people we've tried to pit as bitter rivals, now they're going to play with each other. It's all great. You ready for this?
Yep.
The WNBA All-Star Game will rate bigger than the NBA All-Star Game.
You know what?
Bet right now.
Because the NBA All-Star Game was down, right?
Bet me right now whatever you want.
We got to find the numbers. I'm going to say...
I'm telling you now,
just to
the
play devil's
WNBA
advocate, I'm
All-Star
going to say
Game,
no. I'm going to say it's not.
And I'm going to say it's double.
Okay. All right. We got to find the number. We got to find the NBA number, what it was this past season.
No. I don't care what it was this year. I'm talking about this year. We're
Yeah,
going to have a WNBA All-Star Game. Oh, I was waiting for the next year, but you want to go back to this year? It'll double it.
Okay. All right.
I'm saying it'll double it in a year.
Okay. I'm going to say no, but I like this. I like this.
The WNBA
study.
All-Star Game in 2024 will have a bigger television number than the NBA All-Star Game did in 2024.
Okay.
I would bet my 401k on that.
All right. I like it.
Yeah, I'm more interested in it right now. You want to know why? They'll compete.
That's
They'll play.
true. Oh yeah, there's gonna be some
Caitlin
fireworks.
Clark and Angel Reese are going to want to kill these women.
Yeah, that's
and these
true.
women are going to want to humble these women. And by the way, Angel Reese had a press conference last night.
Mm.
She broke.
Yeah,
up
she
a
got
little.
emotional. Yep.
You know, she's a rookie All-Star. I like that Angel Reese. I know everybody wants to make her a villain. I like vulnerable Angel Reese. That's the Angel Reese I like.
Okay, I like her too.
I like vulnerable Angel Reese.
Yeah, I like that too.
I like
that
Angel
too.
Reese with feelings and emotions.
Yep.
And did you see the other little video that went viral? Like, we do get caught up on this Caitlin Clark thing because she is a phenomenon. She just is. Like, people get mad sometimes when you say things like, Angel Reese is not Caitlin Clark. All right.
Are you talking about in the huddle when she's going down the hallway?
Like, people get really offended sometimes when you say something that is just true.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Angel Reese is not Caitlin Clark. She's not. All right. Angel Reese can't go to Las Vegas and play a game and they move it to T-Mobile and sell 20,366. All right. It's just, that's not where we're at. She's not Caitlin Clark. But she is awesome.
Mm.
And she is resonating in her own way. And you saw this video with the Chicago Sky coming out of the tunnel. And there's this group of young girls they're like in awe, you know? It's like the Beatles are walking by or Taylor Swift or Beyonce, you know? That's what it looks like. You know, when you see Taylor Swift walk into a place and everybody freaks out, right?
Yep.
You see Beyonce walk into a place, everybody freaks out. That's what it looked like with Angel Reese, right? So she's resonating in her own way. And then to see her have this moment, like she even said last night, they just told me I'm an all-star. And she got emotional with it. I like it. I like vulnerable Angel Reese.
I like it too. It's fun. Hey,
I'm loving all of this.
Speaking of the Vegas Aces, they play the LA Sparks tomorrow night. Kelsey was just in here. Her next two podcasts are going to have the LA Sparks stars, Ray Burrell and Rakia Jackson, in her WNBA podcast. So check that out on Grind City Media.
That's Kelsey Wright Johnson.
That's right.
Love Kelsey Wright Johnson.
She's great.
Who doesn't love her, you know? I call her, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this out loud, but you know what I like to call her? The official guest host of the Gary Parrish Show.
Oh, that's accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think I was going to say?
I had no clue where that was going.
But you think I'm trying to go to HR? You think I'm trying to go to HR? You think I'm trying to go to HR?
Yeah.
No. The only thing I'm going to say about Kelsey is that she's the official host, guest host of the Gary Parrish Show.
Yeah, and I think other than us,
I'll leave the YouTube chat to say everything else they want to say.
And I think other than us, the official WNBA insider of GCM.
I mean,
other than us.
I like to consider us the official GCM WNBA insiders, but
Yes.
Kelsey can be on our team.
Yeah, and she's got the pod, so.
And she has the pod.
Yeah.
We should start a group text with her.
Let's start a group text. Yeah. I mean, she just, Kelsey, if you need any like tips or anything like that, just.
I just like to be in a group text.
You know.
I just like to be in group text sometimes. I don't feel like I'm in enough of them, you know? I don't feel like I'm in enough of them. We finally did start one, me and you and Jessica.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just about movies, and then it died pretty quickly.
We'll bring it back.
Maybe bring it back. It died pretty quickly.
No, we'll bring it back.
But if we could start another one, me, you, and Kelsey will just talk about the WNBA every night.
I like it.
I bet she would love that.
I'm in.
I bet there's nothing Kelsey wants
she
to do more.
talks about the WNBA a lot. She's probably sick of it.
I bet you there's nothing Kelsey wants to do more at night than text with me and you.
I would. You think so?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
We'll ask. How about that? Is that appropriate?
Let's check first.
Let's just ask. Anyway, I'm fired up about the WNBA. Last night was a great night. This All-Star game is a brilliant concept. I'm fired up.
I'm fired up too.
Number 2.
Clarion Ledger tried to kill Archie Manning
Jessica
last
just
night.
texted us.
I know, that was
She's
sweet
in
of
the
her.
group text. Thanks, JB.
Yeah, let me text back because I don't want. I think sometimes it's my fault that they die down because I stopped paying attention to them. Right?
Yeah.
Let me just type some here. Thanks for reaching out.
I'll just go say hey. I don't have to. I mean, we're on air.
Yeah.
For God's
we're on air.
sakes.
Yeah, but I knew you got to be active. You ever been in one of those group texts and then one of the people in it, they're not active enough?
Yeah.
And you start going, man, I don't even feel like they want to be here. Maybe I shouldn't want to be here. This really happens to me. I think I'm crazy. I get into a group text, and if I send a couple of things and people don't respond to it, I get mad. And I go, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm done with this.
Yep.
Hey, the next funny thing I see at 11:30 at night when I've had too much to drink, I'm not sending it to you.
Yep.
Now you must pay a price. If you're not going to laugh at the funny things I send you, well, then the next funny thing I see, I'm not sending it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I make my own little rules. I have my own little spats.
I'm really bad.
But then I get over it very quickly.
Here's me with text. I am terrible at. I look at people's texts that they send me and acknowledge in my head that I saw your text, but I just forget to respond.
I need at least a little ha-ha or a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Or
I just always forget.
Because I will mentally clock out. I will mentally be mad at you. I won't ever let you know. I won't ever let you know. I won't ever bring it up. But I'll just be sitting in my office like, all right, that's fine.
You are a grudge holder. You are a grudge holder.
I'm like, and then
I know that about you.
And then I'll see something funny, and I'll go, you know what? I would send this to them, but they didn't like the last one, so
yeah.
So you know what? I'll just keep this to myself.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll start sending those to you and Jessica and Kelsey.
I like it. Hey, speaking of grudge holders, what is the Clarion Ledger? What kind of grudge do they have?
They tried to kill Archie Manning.
What the hell was that?
Kyra, do you have this tweet? Show him this tweet. Okay, I'm sitting there last night just trying to watch Angel Reese.
Bro, as soon as I saw that, I was like, whoa.
This is the way it reads. And like, you got to understand, you're just reading it. Your mind works this direction. You're reading this way. So if you're just reading this, close your eyes, Bennett. Close your little January 6 eyes.
Okay.
All right. And I read this. Tell me what you think.
Okay.
Tell me where you think I'm going.
All right.
Hey, headline from the Clarion. Ooh, I just saw a tweet from the Clarion Ledger. Here's what it says. Archie Manning, Ole Miss football legend, dad of Eli, Peyton, grandfather of Arch. Whoa! Like, where are we going with this?
Oh my gosh.
That's how you set up has died at the age of 75.
Yes.
I was reading that and I was actually getting nervous. And the whole thing's just a matter of seconds. You know, I can read pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty good reader.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to brag, but I'm pretty good.
I got it.
I'm a pretty good reader. So the whole thing took like seconds. But as I'm reading it, it's like Archie Manning, father of Eli, father of Peyton, grandfather of Arch. I'm like, what the? No, not today. Not today. And then it was like, is 75. I was like, holy God, that's the worst worded tweet I've ever seen. So then I'm like, okay, I try to switch quickly. Like, all right, well, happy birthday, Arch. Not even his birthday.
What?
He turned 75 on May 19th. He turned 75 44 days ago. What is the Clarion Ledger doing?
So that's why they said is 75. Like, what a weird thing to do.
It would be like if I just tweeted right now, Gary Parrish is 47.
Congratulations.
Yeah. People be like, oh, it's your birthday. Oh, no, I turned Jack in January. Then what are we doing this for today?
What was the...
Why are we doing this on a Tuesday night announcing to the world that Archie Manning is 75? It's probably an automated tweet somehow.
Maybe... You know what it could be.
AI.
I was just thinking, I was like, somebody messed up and it was just putting stuff in the AI generator, however the hell they do it.
Right.
And
See what
and it just spit that out.
Commercial Pill's Twitter account used to do this all the time, just dumb stuff like this. And it
Really?
was clearly just automatically generated and whatever. I notice it less often lately, so maybe they fixed that. But just, you should have a real person in charge of your social media.
You can't put that tweet out.
That's an awful tweet.
Literally every response is, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, I read it and I was like, surely I'm not the only one that got freaked out by this.
Literally every response.
I'm disappointed in the Clarion Ledger.
Come on, y'all. We got to be better.
Don't.
Although, if you're trying to gain traction and do a little engagement farming.
If you're trying to get engagement.
That's the way to do it. You know what? Now that I think about it.
You could get engagement too. I mean, you could tweet right now like...
I'm gonna do it about you. I'm gonna be like Gary Parrish, loving father,
son of Aiden and Oliver and Louie, husband of Kelly, CBS Sports and Grind City Media personality. He is 47.
Okay, bet.
But like,
I'll get a nice headshot of you too.
What a weird tweet.
That'll get 50 likes at least.
50 at least?
Yeah.
I would think 50 at least. I don't know. I've been on a little viral run. I don't know if you've noticed. I've been on a little viral run.
Have you been on a run?
Oh, man. I've been viral tweeting. I've been on a run.
I've taken a step back. I need to get back in the game.
I've been going viral.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed. I've been going viral.
Okay.
A bit.
Okay.
So it's possible any tweet about me goes viral at this point.
Okay.
All right. I don't know. Get better, Clarion Ledger.
Come on, y'all.
Social media people are out there waiting to be hired. You should hire one.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Well, you ain't gonna believe what the most increased search term on adult websites have been over the past couple of weeks.
Oh,
you can get in them search engines.
I bet I can guess.
You can get in them search engines and you can go. I mean, you can type in anything.
Mm-hmm. I bet I can guess.
You can type in anything. What do you think? What's the most searched term?
It's easily Hawk Tua.
Hawk Tua. People are going to Pornhub and searching for Hawk Tua.
Hawk Tua. That's the world we live in.
It is.
Yeah, it's the world we live in. I saw Hawk Tua girl hired an agent.
She's got a whole team now.
Yeah, she said she's starting a podcast.
Of course she is.
Why wouldn't you?
Welcome her to the industry.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
It's nice to have her in the industry. I would assume she already had a podcast,
right?
Considering she was, white.
That's accurate. Oh, that is accurate. I don't know one white person that doesn't have a podcast, bro.
I don't know any.
One.
I don't know any white people without a podcast.
I really don't.
None.
I really do not.
Every white person I know has got a podcast
yes,
at this point, right?
That is very true.
I was shocked to find out she didn't already have one, but unsurprised to find out she's about to maybe start one. I watched her interview. She gave an interview to the Brianna young woman who works for Barstool, who also dates
Zach
Bryan.
Yep.
Okay. And that's clearly the connection. She was on stage with Zach Bryan, right? She did Hawk Tua, and people loved it. And she tried to sing, and I hope she's better at Hawk Tua than she is at singing.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, people are going to be wildly disappointed.
Gotcha.
On that note, what a tough situation this young woman finds herself in.
Why?
Okay. She's 21 years old.
Okay.
She's very young.
Yeah.
Because there was all these speculation.
She's not. Are you saying she's not ready for this fame?
I'm saying this, and I mean this. I'm not even trying to be goofy or childish or anything. I'm just being. She appears to be single. I imagine she will not be forever. Incredible amount of pressure on her.
Oh. I mean,
like you're that girl. That's a lot of pressure to take to the first date.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I was her, I would be looking for the guy who's not searching that on Pornhub.
But you don't know, and you don't know who's coming after you now, who's interested in you now, and for what reason, Once upon a time, they might just be interested in you because, you're a cute little girl, from the country or whatever. But now there's this whole world that's been opened up to you. Why are people reaching out to you? Why does somebody want to buy you a drink? Why does somebody want to swipe right on you? What are they expecting? You see what I'm saying, Bennett? This is tough.
I see what you're saying.
This is tough. I watched her interview.
She seemed like a 21-year-old.
Woo.
Yeah.
Seemed a little, what's the nice way to say this? Simple.
No, Jesus.
She seems simple.
Well, I'm a little simple. I mean,
I don't know, but I feel like I could talk to you about some stuff.
I don't know, man.
I don't know if I could talk to her about so much stuff.
I think me and her would get along just fine.
I don't know if I would get along with her. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I like Zach Bryan.
I mean, he's fine.
Like, we could talk about that.
How did that happen, by the way? How did
Him
Zach
blowing up?
Yes. How did he become a stadium act?
Dude, honestly, I feel like it's it's like every year you get one of these like singer-songwriters that just blows up. It's like it was his turn to, and he's good. I mean, he's talented.
I wasn't there from the beginning, but like enough, like he became such a big deal with just a guitar in his hand.
Yeah.
On some level, I was like, well, there was a time in my life where I really enjoyed just a guy with a guitar in his hand. My musical interests have changed a bit, but I enjoyed that once upon a time.
Yeah.
And I listened to all the albums. Fine.
Yeah.
Like if you said you want to go see Zach Bryan, I'd say sure, we'll go. But like I don't.
How is he that big?
How did he become that? I don't see that.
It is interesting.
Like how did Zach Bryan fill up a stadium, but Ryan Adams never got to that?
Mm-hmm. Well,
I mean, I know, but like, I know that part. But I'm just saying, if we're just putting a guitar in somebody's hand, saying write songs and sing them, Ryan Adams is better than that than just about everybody for a period of time. And yet it never even, like he never even got to arenas. Like, how do you get there from there?
It is interesting.
I don't know.
He's been.
I know how Morgan Wallen did it. I know how he did it.
Mm-hmm. Well, other people wrote his music.
And?
I got you. Yeah.
I don't know how Zach Bryan did it, but I'm happy for him. Anyway, I saw talk to a girl, Haley Welch, that's her name.
Yes.
She doesn't seem like she got much to her. That's what I was trying to say. But in fairness to her, she's a young woman. She, and she's, she's been thrust into a position that
cash in now.
Yeah, I would.
You
if I
cash
were
in
her.
now.
I wouldn't. Sometimes
I hope she trademarked it.
Well, how sometimes people can get famous for one thing, and then it's like, and then you're exposed to them. You're like, oh my God, this person's amazing. She's like Cardi B is a little bit like this. Cardi B was just like a personality, and then like you were like, oh wow, that was funny. Let's see what else she has to say. And it's like, oh my God, she's like hysterical. She's hilarious. And then it's like, oh, and she can rap. Oh, and she's funny while she's rapping. Oh, and she's like, sexy too. And oh my God, Cardi B's a star. Like, it's one little thing and it leads to all this other stuff. Cardi B had a lot to offer once you looked at her. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that Haley Welch does. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I wish her luck.
I wish her luck too.
Yeah.
I wish Zach Edey would have been in here for this segment.
He would have enjoyed this, I think.
I don't think so. I think he would have been like, who the hell are these dudes?
What if we just made Zach Edey sit here, talk about Archie Manning being killed by the Clarion Ledger?
Stay.
That's the trick. You know what? We messed this up. We should have not even talked to Zach Edey. Just, hey, you guys want to interview Zach Edey? No, we want him to sit here and
for
just
5 more things.
To just watch us talk about 5 more things.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I'll just look at him and be like, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that'd be good. Damn.
Anyway, I wish her luck. That's what I'm trying to say. I wish her luck, but I was underwhelmed by her initial interview. She didn't blow me away,
Same.
Yeah.
Number 4.
You know who did blow me away, though? Elly De La Cruz. First game in Yankee Stadium last night.
Yeah.
First game in Yankee Stadium last night. He tripled. He homered. The Reds won 5-4. Let's watch the 2-run homer, and then I'll tell you some stuff about him.
Maybe.
I'll just flex until we get it. I'll just flex until we get it. We hear it, but we don't see it.
Where you at, Elly? It's all good.
Look at this. This is my favorite part. Everything's cool. Everything's cool. Look at him. Look at this. Uh-oh.
Crack.
And look, Yankee Stadium filled up. They're coming to see the Elly show. I tweeted this last night and it started.
I like the open
everything
jersey.
about him's cool. Like if you could create a cool baseball player, that's who you would create.
I would wear if I was an MLB star and I could hit home runs, I would do the open jersey.
I think I would too.
With the chain. I want a chain. I'm not going to. My wife said do not, but
yeah.
Like if I was an MLB star, I would want to yeah.
I got a 7-year-old plays baseball with a bunch of other 7-year-olds. If you polled them right now and you said who's your favorite baseball player, you get some Austin Rileys. And you get some Aaron Judges, and you'll get some Ronald Acuñas.
Yep.
I bet half the team would say Elly De La Cruz. And he's only
I think so too.
He's only been in the big leagues about a year, a little more than a year. He's 22 years old, and he is an absolute star. He resonates with young people in a way that I don't think people my age understand unless you are in tune with it. My kids see Mets games. So the reason my kids know Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil and Starling Marte and Luis Severino is because they watch Mets games. They're exposed to the Mets. They are not exposed to anything else. My kids are not watching this show. They're not watching SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt like most kids aren't. My kids are on YouTube. My kids are on iPads. It's always fascinating to me to see what reaches them. What reaches them in a way that I don't have to show it to them. Like I can bring my kids, put them in a car and expose them to whatever music I want to expose them to. But what do they find on their own? Like the other day we were just talking. I'm talking to my little guys and I'm like, so Lou, what you been listening to? He's like, what do you mean? I was like, just in hip hop. Who you listening to now? He's like, Lil Tecca. I'm like, Lil Tecca?
The hell's that?
Okay, but how did Lil Tecca reach them, right? How Elly De La Cruz has reached kids.
Yep.
The last time in sports this happened, Coach Prime. Reach kids through YouTube. Patrick Mahomes reaches kids through YouTube. They're aware. You don't have to watch the Chiefs or the NFL as a kid to know Patrick Mahomes is a big deal. He reaches them. And Elly De La Cruz is doing that right now. He is reaching young people. Long hair, chains. He's tall and thin. He just looks. Another part of this, he's speaking English. And you know, when he was asked about it, I thought this was brilliant. He said, it's important for fans to understand me and for me to be able to understand fans. So he's learned. He didn't come here well-versed in English. He's learning English. He did his post-game interview last night in English. And they have to help him a little bit. It was like the Reds reporter on-field thing. Yeah. And they asked him a question about, you know, what's it like to play on this stage at Yankee Stadium? And you could tell he didn't really quite understand what stage meant in this context. And so they were like, you could see, looked a little confused, and they were like, what it means to play in a big place like New York. And he was like, oh yeah, I love it. This is a dream come true. But like, it was just sort of cute. But he's trying in a way that Shohei hasn't really tried. Messi hasn't really tried. These other foreign-born stars who come here, not all of them prioritize the English language, but Elly De La Cruz is. And like every kid on my son's baseball team, they're wearing chains because of him. Like my son's got big gold chains he plays baseball in at 7.
Yeah.
And it's because he thinks it's cool. And the reason he thinks it's cool is because that cool guy is wearing them. So if the cool guy wears them, well, then that's what you want to wear. And for people who don't follow baseball, like this guy, I'm not exaggerating here. He can hit it harder than anybody else in the world. Like the exit velocity, he's like elite. Also, he will throw the ball harder than anybody else in the world. He got clocked throwing a ball from shortstop to first earlier this year. We showed it.
Yeah, we saw
106.9. 106.9. That was described at the time as the fastest ball. You ready for this? Because it didn't get this kind of attention because it was an error because he threw it so hard at first, but he couldn't even catch it. This didn't get this kind of attention. I didn't hear many people frame it this way. Think about this. In the history of recorded baseballs on a diamond, nobody's ever thrown a ball harder than Elly De La Cruz threw that ball. There's never been a ball recorded thrown harder on a diamond in the history of the world than the ball Elly De La Cruz let come out of his hand on a ground ball to short. He hits it farther than anybody, hits it harder than anybody, throws it harder than anybody, and also, runs faster than anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, just if you were building a baseball player, you'd want him to make a little more contact, sure. But if you were building a baseball player, this is the dude you build. If MLB is not doing everything they can to showcase this guy, I mean, do whatever you got to do to get him in the home run derby. Do whatever you got to do to showcase him. He's an absolute undeniable star, and he did it last night in Yankee Stadium.
Number 5.
You see this Howard Eskin story?
No.
Okay. So Howard Eskin, 73 years old.
Yeah, I know him.
Longtime prominent Philadelphia media member.
Scared.
Worked in radio, afternoon drive. Think, George Lapidus.
Yep.
He's the George Lapidus of Philadelphia. All right?
Okay.
Well, he's kind of had a reduced role for a while. Like, he lost his afternoon drive show, and, but he's now doing a Saturday morning show.
Yeah, I got
you worked in sports talk radio. You know what the Saturday morning shows are,
Yes.
They are what they are.
Yep.
Okay, so he has a presence still, but...
That's someone who had one once upon a time.
I didn't mean to...
It's okay, man.
I didn't mean to stab you. I didn't mean to stab you in the eye.
It was Sunday. It was Sunday morning.
Like the highlight of your career is a Sunday morning show, and I'm just shitting on it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Anyway, but he's still doing it. That's the thing. He shows up at the press conferences, goes to the games, and he's been at Phillies games all year. Well, he hadn't been showing up at Phillies games, and people have been wondering. Like, even the Phillies manager was like, "Hey, where's Howard? I ain't seen Howard in a while." And they've just sort of been saying, "Oh, he's dealing with some personal stuff."
Oh, brother.
Turns out he's been suspended.
What did Howard do? How old is Howard?
73.
Okay.
Buckle up. He was at the baseball stadium, and he made an unwanted advance at a young woman, ballpark employee. And I'm like, okay, unwanted advance, because sometimes this can be like lost in translation. Like, you didn't, like, oh, buddy, you're being creepy, but you probably don't even know.
Hey, what's your number?
Yeah. Sometimes old guys, I say this as an old guy, but like you can get creepy, you don't even know you're getting creepy, right? I don't say this as that old of a guy, but you get the point.
I get it.
I'm trying to side with. It's been a
We're trying to help
rough run for
Howard.
old people.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched the debate,
dude.
I don't know if you watched the debate.
Horrible month for old people.
It's been a horrible month for old people.
They're killing Archie Manning. The dude he's just hanging out.
He's just trying to probably just he's probably wondering when Arch is going to ever get to play.
Yeah.
And they killed him. It's been a tough. I don't know if you watched the debate, but it's been tough. It's been a tough little run for old people.
Okay.
All right. So here's Howard Eskin. He's 7. I'm just trying to say that sometimes old people can be weird. They don't even know they're being weird.
Yeah.
You just have to grab them and be like, yo.
Hey, settle down.
Calm down. You can't do that.
Put that thing away.
Yeah, put that thing away. Right? All right. So I'm like, all right, maybe just said something, and he's like, oh, God, I didn't even know you can't say that, right?
Uh-huh.
Nope. It was much different than that.
What did Howard do?
He kissed a woman at the ballpark.
What?
You can't give somebody an unwanted kiss at the ballpark at 70. Thanks a lot, Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Look what you've done.
Ruined it for everybody.
No, Bill Belichick out there hooking it with a 23-year-old, and now every dude in his 70s thinks they can just kiss whoever they want.
I know.
Bill Belichick, you did this.
You did this.
You did this.
You owe Howard.
You made a world where Howard Eskin thinks he can just walk around a Phillies game kissing young women.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks a lot, Bill Belichick. Yo, man, you got to just...
What are you doing?
You know how I meet people now?
Uh-huh.
I put my hands behind my back.
Hi.
I do, yeah.
Hello. No, I wouldn't do that. That's creepier than actually.
No, the other day I walk in here, and Darby was in here. You know Darby.
Yeah.
Darby's
great.
She's got a little headband on, and they were like, GP, what do you think of Darby's headband? Hot or not? I was like,
stay out of that. Yeah.
I was like, I'm 47-year-old man. Am I even allowed to have an opinion on this?
I don't think you can play hot or not. I don't think I can play hot or not.
I just said.
I just say that looks great.
That's what I just said. Looks professional.
Yeah. Perfectly acceptable headband.
No, man, I have changed my approach on this. You get more comfortable with some people than others. But there was a basketball tournament I was at doing sideline on a few years ago, and they asked me. They said, "Hey, there's this little college girl. She's in journalism. Would you mind if she shadowed you? She wants to be a sideline reporter.
Yeah.
Would you mind?" I was like, "Of course not. Whatever. If it's sure." I mean, you have to be a jerk to say no to that. And transparency. Like, she's a cute young woman, right? And she was the sweetest little girl. And the whole time we were, and she was with me for like 2 straight days. And, I offered her everything I could offer her for career advice and whatever. And anyway, at the end of it, it's like, tournament's over. I'm getting ready to go back to the hotel, and she's getting ready to go on her way. And I will probably never see this person again. And she's like, well, it was great to meet you. Thank you so much. And kind of like, and I was just like, it's good to meet you.
Oh, come on.
I
got it.
The last thing you need is some 21-year-old being like, yeah, he hugged me and kind of put his hand. And I'm just like, I don't even want to get involved in this stuff anymore. I'm not going down like Howard Eskin.
Yeah, I get it. Well, I think a hug is a little bit different than him just like smooching someone.
It would have been fine, but like that, what I'm telling you, that's in my head now.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. I don't want anybody
getting more
getting
details on this.
I don't want anybody getting the wrong idea.
Dude, you can't
And what is it with men? Howard Eskin, he can't go to Phillies games. Greg Doyle can't go to Fever games.
Different things.
Different things.
Yeah. Howard Eskin, that's assault, brother.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, you can't be just kissing your coworkers.
I mean, that's
or people working at the stadium.
I mean, imagine if I just walked out there and kissed Kelsey.
I know. That's assault.
I'd have to talk to somebody about that.
Yeah, you
that's
go to
crazy
HR.
behavior. So, stop kissing people you don't know. How about that?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Damn, man.
Stop kissing people.
Howard Eskin, dude, is a legend.
Stop kissing people unless they want to kiss you. Make them kiss you first.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
It's in the workplace. I mean, I guess everywhere this works, but I'm strictly like, this is his workplace. You can't walk around your workplace kissing random people.
You can't do that. You can't.
Hey, what if I just walked over there right now and kissed Devin? Would it be wild?
I don't think that'd go over well.
Anyway,
I don't think he'd appreciate that.
They say it's a year-long suspension. Howard Eskin, he'll be back at Phillies games next season, as long as
he's alive.
As long as the Clarion Ledger doesn't kill him.
You're right.
Be back with GP's Carryout.
Mike did his favorite black films of all time. Mike, where we at?
If there's one movie I know every single line to, It is coming to America.
There we go.
It is coming to America. It can come on any time of any day, and I'm going to stop and watch at least 20 minutes of it.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
I think we have the college basketball title futures. UConn's number 1.
I really like Houston. I'd have them winning it all, but you can't be giving Drake jerseys. What is wrong with you?
Maybe the Drake curse is stronger in college basketball.
How long has he been riding with Kentucky?
He wore an Alabama jersey and Saban retired.
The Odds Couple with Rob Fisher, Lang Whitaker, John Roser, and CJ Hurt live Thursdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho Salad. Let's wrap it up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
A whole bunch of stuff, but we mostly focused on the NBA, where Draymond Green created a big headline last night with his podcast. Said that, he's sad that Klay Thompson is leaving the Golden State Warriors because he knows what it's like. He almost did it. And he went on to say, I almost did it last year. I even called Steph and Klay and Steve Kerr, and I said, it's over. I'm moving to Memphis, Tennessee. We almost had Draymond Green.
I need some details on that. I need some more details on that. I'm going to have to go ask around.
No, I don't think you need. I think this is one of those things you're not supposed to ask about.
Yeah, I got it.
I don't think the answers are good.
Interesting.
Yeah, because you got to do the timing on this. Draymond Green agreed to a deal with the Warriors on June 30th. All right.
Yep.
And before June 30th, he was ready to join the Grizzlies.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So
and you're probably wondering, like, well, how did the Grizzlies let him know before? And that's where you just shut up. That's where you just shut up and you go,
my mouth shut.
And you go, I don't know what you're talking about.
Roser also brought up before the show when we were talking out there, when was that golf thing that they did? Remember was it Steph versus Klay?
I do remember that, yeah.
Because Draymond was there, and this was during the discussion about the Warriors dynasty and would they, remain together and everything like that. And then Draymond was there, and they were all having fun. And it was like, oh, okay, well they're gonna stay together, right? That's an important date, I feel like.
Klay ended up being the odd man out.
Klay ended up being the odd man out. Yeah, I'm gonna stay out of it.
I bet that hurts.
Yeah, I bet it does too. I mean, the thing is though, like, I totally get where Klay's coming from because again, it's like, dude, look at all the all the points I put up. Like
Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, Draymond
Yeah.
Green, Klay Thompson.
But right now,
They all did stuff together,
I know.
and they're all still together except for this one guy. They all decided we don't want like I play golf all the time with these 3 other people, and like we play all the time together. And
Yeah.
what if just they decided they're going to start playing with somebody else,
Yeah.
and they just stopped
Right,
texting me?
right.
That would hurt my feelings. I would understand it, but it would hurt my feelings.
But if you're,
I know what it's like to be hurt.
I know, but I mean, I think if you poll every Warriors fan out there, I think the majority would probably say, yeah, we need Draymond more than we need Klay.
It's possible. That's true.
Right?
It's certainly possible. That's true.
I think at this point in their careers, yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you who definitely decided that. The Warriors.
That's correct.
They definitely decided that. So
Yeah.
anyway, Draymond Green's got a podcast. If you didn't know before yesterday, you know now.
What's today's biggest game?
I'm taking you down to Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
It's the Giants and the Braves.
Yep.
It's an NL showdown. Jordan Hicks on the mound for San Francisco. On the mound for Chris Sale, Atlanta. I remember when Atlanta signed Chris Sale. I was like, hold up.
Yeah.
Why do they get to get Chris Sale? And I know he wasn't awesome past couple of years, but he's awesome again now at the age of 35. Missed almost all of 2021 and 2022. Pitched a total of just 48 and a third innings over a 2-year span. Started only 11 games. Had a 4.30 ERA last year in Boston in 20 starts. Got knocked around a little bit. This year, 10-3 for Atlanta in 15 starts. 2.79 ERA, 118 strikeouts, 17 walks. Second in Major League Baseball in wins with 10. Only man with more, Seth Lugo, former Met, now with the Kansas City Royals. He has 11. Big Bet Bennett.
Yeah, this is tough.
Jordan Hicks against Chris Sale. Atlanta minus 200. San Francisco plus 165. First pitch 6:20. How you going to act?
I think I'll take the Braves. The Giants are kind of playing well. They're moving on up in those wild card standings.
2 games below 500.
Yeah. I think I'll take the Braves. They've lost 2 in a row. I think they're not going to lose 3 in a row.
Bennett says minus 200 with the Atlanta Braves and Chris Sale on the mound.
What are we watching on TV?
All right. Remember yesterday I told you that we watched the Nickelback documentary on Netflix?
Yes.
And then our buddy Thomas Burns, he tweeted us, both of us, I believe.
Yes.
And he said, there's something else on Netflix we need to watch. We
What?
want to watch a documentary on Netflix. He says you need to watch this one. It's called Mark Cavendish, Never Enough. You familiar?
No idea.
This fella used to ride a bicycle.
Okay.
I think really well. Tour de France level.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But, never enough. I don't know what it's about. But hey, you ready for this? Audience score 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So it's just about a bike rider, a documentary about
No, it's something to do with. How about this? Let me just read it to you.
Okay.
With exclusive access to Mark, his wife, Peta, his teammates, and his coaches, the film charts the rise, fall, and resurrection of a genuine sporting great and the most effective and most exciting cyclist ever. He's the most.
I thought that was Lance Armstrong.
I thought that was Lance Armstrong. I don't know.
Well,
Hold
he
up.
cheated, though.
He did cheat.
Yeah.
But he was exciting.
He was exciting.
At the end of 2016, Mark required just 4 stage wins to equal the great Eddie Merckx 41-year-old record of 34 stage wins and cement his legacy. He got 5 agonizing. It's a lot.
I'm not in.
But Thomas says it's
I
great.
like Thomas's recommendations, but I don't know about this.
But I'm bored even reading the thing.
I know.
I got
just
bored
fell
halfway
asleep.
through
I
this.
just fell
I
asleep
just put
for
you to
a
sleep.
second.
Man, I only like my cyclists when they're lying to the whole world, and cheating. That's the cyclist I like. I like the lying, cheating cyclist.
Yeah, I need a little controversy.
Yeah, this fella here. But here's the thing. The audience seems to love it, and Thomas has recommended it.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a shot. But, buddy, if I can't stay awake during House of the Dragons, I don't know. I barely made it through that preview.
Yeah, I'm
going to give it a shot, though.
Okay.
Thomas, I respect your recommendation.
Yeah.
I looked. I didn't have. I was going to go with Natural Born Killers on Netflix because it just got added yesterday.
Okay, I'm going to just try to finish The Bear.
I got to do that, too. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
It has not been great.
That's what I'm hearing.
It has not been great.
That's not what I wanted to hear, but that is what I've been hearing.
Yeah, it's not been great. I'm sorry.
That's
you got
what
to call it like
that's
it
what
is.
Mark Cavendish, Never Enough. It's 92 minutes. You can find it on Netflix.
What's the best thing we've read?
Well, over at CBSSports.com right now, Bill Ryder's got a piece on the Lakers and Clippers failures in NBA free agency and why they could be slipping to mediocrity. LA's NBA franchise slipping. Bill Ryder wrote about it. You can find it on the homepage, CBSSports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's Thursday.
It's 4th of July.
Independence Day.
That's right.
That's when we gained our independence.
It's a big day.
It's a big day.
Yeah. I'll be celebrating.
What do you like more? What day you like more?
What? Give me my options.
July 4th.
Yep.
January 6th.
Obviously July 4th. I mean, it's just it's a national holiday. It's when our nation won its independence. It's the obvious answer.
It is the obvious answer.
Yeah. I almost wore an American flag shirt in here today, and I'm glad I didn't.
I'm surprised you don't wear one every day.
I'm glad I didn't, because Zach would have been like, "Who the hell is this dude?" I'm glad I didn't. I almost did.
I never felt more like a nerd trying to be a 47-year-old talking to Zach Edey about Kendrick Lamar and Drake. He just was not interested in that at all.
No, I'm glad he's staying out of it, though.
Yeah, it's probably smart to stay out of it.
Yeah, I'm glad he's staying out of it. He didn't need to get involved in all that. No.
I mean, they just attacked Rick Ross. You don't need to get involved in this.
Yeah. I respect that he did say he's a Drake guy.
Yeah.
Like, stand with your dude.
Yeah, I respect staying with your dude.
Yeah.
Particularly if you're Canadian. I'd like to think if I were Canadian, I wouldn't turn my back on another Canadian.
Yeah.
But as it is, wop, 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 wop. We're not going to be here tomorrow.
We're not going to be here, no.
We're going to be celebrating our country.
Yep, I sure will.
I sure will. We ain't going to be here Friday either. We're just going to keep celebrating our country, I guess.
Yeah, I'll have to, yeah.
Are we not here Friday?
We're not here Friday.
Okay, yeah,
correct.
I'm just going to keep celebrating our country.
We'll not be here Friday. I'll be asleep.
Bennett says he's going to sleep on Friday.
Yeah, I'll be asleep.
Okay. Bennett's going to celebrate his country on Thursday and sleep on Friday. That's a good plan.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll see you on Monday then.
All right, man.
All right. Everybody enjoy your holiday weekend. I'm going to enjoy mine. Bennett's going to sleep.
Yep.
We'll be back here Monday at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.